All of us deal with tight hamstrings at some point in our life. So if you want a 3-step simple sequence of exactly what to do with your hamstrings to get actual flexibility, that's where we're gonna dive into this video. This is a secret, this is things that people don't do, and we wanna make sure that you have the best information, but we're gonna take 3 concepts, different concepts, we've gotta bring them together, and we have to turn it into a program of something that we're doing consistently. So let's jump into it. First thing we have to do is loosen up the hamstrings. But our hamstrings, we have to do it in 3 different areas. We call them gutters. The lateral gutter, the medial gutter, the inside, the outside, right? So right here, we have to loosen up this gutter between this. This is our part of our quad muscle. We gotta loosen that up so that the muscles can glide across each other. And then we have to get right in between the two hamstring muscles right here. There's 3, but these are the 2 that are important. And then we have to get into this inside, and that's the 3rd muscle in the hamstring. We have to dig that out as well. We do that by using a lacrosse ball. And it's really down here in this lower part of the hamstring. And that's what I wanna do. So I got this box. If you go to the gym, you got a box, you got something that you can work on, then we use that. But if you're at home, you can do it on a chair, but I would preferably it's on your countertop. Your countertop is really stiff. We can get a good pressure with the ball because we want this to be uncomfortable. We are loosening up tissue, we're breaking it up. We gotta make sure we do that before we do the other 2 steps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up on this box and then I'm gonna put this right here. It's the lower third. So here's a third, right? So the lower third, so right here. Top third, second third, bottom third. So right here, I'm gonna put my pressure on it, and then I'm gonna just go 10 times, loosening this up. I'm putting pressure. My back, I don't want it to fold over. I wanna keep my back in a neutral position. I'm driving down into the ball, and I'm loosening up that hamstring right there. And I do it 10 times, loosening up. Then I go right to the middle of the hamstring, and do the same thing. I'm just loosening this up the entire time. It's like, I don't need to get my leg completely straight. I just wanna make sure that I'm loosening it up consistently. And then I'm gonna go on the inside of the hamstring and loosen that up. And this is much more tender on me. So I'm loosening up that hamstring, making sure that I'm getting a glide through those muscles. I'm gonna do 10 of them, so that gives me 10, 10, 10, and that's 30 times that I'm gonna loosen up that hamstring. And then we'll go to step number 2. We wanna make sure that we're getting blood flow to the right muscle. So we gotta loosen it up first, and then now we're on blood flow. That's number 2. Step number 2 is actually getting blood flow to the muscle. So we gotta make sure we do a hip hinge. We need to use our hamstrings. So what I'll do, now that I have this right next to me, it would be your countertop, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna allow my chest to come down. I'm pushing my butt back against the countertop, and then I come back up. And when I'm doing this, I'm allowing my chest to come down. My face stays in line with my chest. I'm pushing into my hamstrings. I'm making sure that they work. The majority of our clients, they feel it right here in their hamstrings. If you're not feeling your hamstrings, then you're probably gonna feel it in your back and unlikely your glute. When you're doing it for a longer period of time, you'll feel it in your glute more. But a lot of our clients, they feel it in their back, and it's because they're doing this. Because their head is staying up. We need to make sure that our head stays down. It stays in line with our chest. We reach our butt back, and we use the hamstrings consistently. And we're pushing our butt, like we're pushing into our butt bones. We're trying to rip the back of our pants. We're pushing back. So, and I wanna do 15 of these. I'm just getting blood flow to the hamstrings. Our total objective is to get flexibility in the hamstrings. We gotta loosen up that muscle tissue, and then with this exercise, we're getting blood flow to the hamstrings. When we do that, we allow them to relax. We have something called a muscle spindle. When we try to stretch, our muscle spindle says, hey, don't stretch me anymore, you're gonna break me. And so we have to get blood flow in that area. We have to challenge it to be able to get it to relax a little bit more. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the body's natural systems to make sure that we get the best out of it. So I did that. So the first thing was to roll out the glute, or roll out the hamstring. The second thing was to make sure that I'm getting my hamstrings, getting blood flow in my hamstrings. So I'm doing that hip hinge, driving back into something. Always, like if I have a wall right here, if I have the countertop, I'm always gonna push into it and try to touch it and then come back up. Just like that, right? And so, but I'm isolating those hamstrings with my face coming down with my chest. And then the third thing is I'm actually gonna stretch the hamstrings, but I don't wanna stretch the hamstrings isolated. I don't wanna do this and just try to stretch my hamstring. This is a big hamstring stretch, but I don't wanna do this because it's not gonna get the entire chain of tissue. What I wanna do is I'm gonna come across my body. So this is step number 3. Coming across my body, I'm gonna drop down and I'm gonna reach across to my other, there's the lacrosse ball. So I'm gonna drop my head down and my right arm is gonna come across and touch my foot. And I gotta breathe and relax. That's what I was doing right there. And I know blood rushes up to my face, but I need to breathe and relax, and I need to do it for 30 seconds. And then I go back into that side for 30 seconds, and then I go to the other side. So it's a total of a minute on each side. But I'm coming down, I separate my legs, I come across with this arm, drop my head down. It's really important that we drop our head down. And we breathe into the stretch. Right, so we'll do 30 seconds going one way, then I come back up using the hamstring again, and then I go to the other side, and I grab the opposite arm, drop the head down. When you do that, you're getting the entire posterior chain. We have a chain of muscles and fascia that connects together. Fascia connects all of our muscles together, so it's from the bottom of our foot all the way up to the top of our forehead. We have a chain of fascia that holds those muscle groups together. If we don't get everything on the back side of our body, from our shoulder blades, erectors, our glute, our hamstrings, if we don't loosen up that entire chain, it doesn't matter what we do. If we just focus on the hamstring, we're not gonna get that to actually loosen up. We gotta make sure that we're doing the entire chain, and that's why our head's really important. Everything that we're doing is relaxing into that position, but we set it up for success. The first thing that we did was loosen up the hamstring. The second thing was get blood flow to the hamstring. And then the third is actually to lengthen it out. And if we do that twice a day, then you're gonna see actual results with your hamstring flexibility. We see so many clients that say, hey, I just have tight hamstrings, but that's like 80% of the people that we see in the clinic, and we get great results with it, but they do this sequence. So twice a day, give it 2 weeks and leave us a comment. Let us know if it was helpful. Let us know if you have any questions about it. Make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll get you more videos on exactly what works with real people in the clinic.